I'm Karen Johnson, and I'm here today with Teri, who is our current obsessed Quilt As You Go expert. She has been trying to make, oh, and there's a cat in the picture. She has taken practically every pattern she can find and converted it to Quilt As You Go. This works really well for table runners, small wall hangings, placemats, anything that's small. And the basic idea is you make your 3 layers to begin with, and as you piece the top, you quilt through all the layers with each piecing, and when you finish, you end up with the whole thing already quilted. So Teri is going to be making a placemat today, so it's a nice small project to show you how this works. Start by taking your backing, and as you can see, she's got her backing there, and you're going to lay it the right side down. Then you're going to layer you're getting ready to put your batting on, and we like to use 505 spray basting, so she's going to spray that really lightly. Doesn't take much. And finish folding back the batting, smooth it out. And now you're ready to begin piecing your top. Okay, so Teri's going to tell us what the next step is.
So first what you want to do is you want to find your center, because you start from the middle and work your way out. So what I do, you can get the ruler out if you want. I just like to do light creases. And then when you open it up, you'll see where your center point is. And then if you want, you can mark it. You can measure out how big your piece is so that you have it exact. Or you can do it the eyeball method, which is how I do things. After you found your center and you placed your fabric where it goes, you take your next pieces, the ones that you're actually going to sew on, and you place it and pin it.
And that's right sides together?
Right sides together. And you want to make sure you pin it so that it doesn't shift while you're moving from place to place.
So you're pinning through all the layers, through the batting and the backing and everything. Yep. Okay.
So that it doesn't move. And this is a small piece, so you can pin it to death, or you can just lightly pin to whatever your pinning preference is. And you can do one, go sew it, and then do the next one. Or if you are lazy like me, you can do both of them at the same time.
Lazy's good.
Yeah. And then you sew one side, just turn it around, sew the other side.
So this works if those 2 seams don't overlap or anything. If they're independent of each other and they're not going to be in the way of each other.
Exactly.
Cool.
And then now we are off to sew. So now is the sewing part, and we're at Karen's sewing studio, and she has a fancy dancy machine that I don't know how to work, so she has taken over, and I get to just push the record button. So the next step is you're gonna sew your seams down. You can backstitch if you want. You don't have to, because you're gonna sew over the seam going the other way, so it'll be locked in.
So I'm doing a 1/4 inch, right?
1/4 inch seam, that's right. And taking your pins out so you don't get a flat tire. And it's better to do slow and steady because you're going through 3 layers. So if you try to go too fast, it'll bunch up your batting, and you'll have bunches in the back.
We don't want bunches.
No. Back rolls are not good.
So then I just do it on the same thing on the other side?
Same thing on the other side, which is why I like to pin 2 sides at once. That way I can get twice as much sewing done.
And look, I'm so confident, I'm just whipping through it.
Okay, so now we're gonna iron our folds open, but I always trim my threads, and you can or you cannot.
Oh, good idea.
It's
on
up
the back.
to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do it all at once. I'm a clean the kitchen as you go kind of person, so when I'm done, I'm done. And then you just take the iron and you iron these open nice and flat. And then you're ready to start putting your next fabrics on. So another reason I like Quilt As You Go is because I am a fast and furious quilter and I'm not always exactly precise. And as you can see, this isn't exactly square, but the magic of quilting, I can just lay the next layer wherever I want and I can make it square. And then I just pin down these ones and I do it all over again. So another tip for a Quilt As You Go is it's nice to try to find the thread that matches as close as you can to your backing fabric, because then you can't see the quilting, because in Quilt As You Go it's not about the quilting, it's about getting it done without having to have quilting done. And also the darker the fabric, the easier it is to blend in your thread. Another tip is when I'm sewing, I kind of smooth the fabric taut like this so that we don't get a bunch here in the center, so that it'll be smooth.
So you're watching for bunches and runaway underneath fabrics.
That's right. And then now we have a little square. So now I'm just going to keep doing the same thing until my placemat is done. This pattern comes from a book, Fast and Furious, Quilt As You Go, and there's a lot of books and patterns out now with the Quilt As You Go method. However, any strip-based or square or rectangle-based pattern can be modified to do Quilt As You Go if it's small enough. So, I've always got my eye out to try and find something that I can do, especially baby quilts. That way they're not too fancy and the moms don't think anything of throwing them on the floor and letting the baby play with them instead of keeping them for a rainy day and they never get used. So,
thanks, Teri.